Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Military Mom Talk Radio on another summer day. It is a gorgeous day up here. It is just starting to clear, and it's a little still cloudy, but we've had some very, very pleasant weather up here. And I know that it's been raining in some areas of the country. I hope you're all safe and sound. And behind it comes some great weather to finish out the rest of the summer, one more month. I'm sure some of the kids are heading back to school in a few weeks in some areas. Sandra's on vacation, and of that vacation, it also offered an opportunity for the two of us to get together. We had a real whirlwind of a visit, and it was wonderful. So love you, San, and we'll see you real soon. Today, we have two great guests. A little bit later in the show, I'm going to introduce you to, or reintroduce you to, Thomas Van Hees. He's an author, a veteran, and his books have been life-changing for some people. We'll talk to you a little bit more about all that Tom has to offer. But first, I want to welcome Debbie Gregory. She's the founder of Military Connection, a women-owned business located in Simi Valley, California. They have been in business since 1999, taking great pride in assisting many military veterans and military charities. Debbie, you've also established the VAMBOA, Veterans and Military Business Owners Association, the nonprofit Veteran Business Trade Association, promoting and assisting veteran business owners, service-disabled veteran-owned businesses, and military business owners. Debbie, when do you have time to breathe?
Not a whole lot. But we sure could use some of that rain you've got here in California.
Are you dry out there, huh?
Oh, we're in a big drought.
And how are the people that were hit by lightning out there yesterday?
I heard it on the news. It was a phenomenon for here, and I understand that one person was killed. It's very tragic.
Wow.
We're having some very strange weather. We don't usually have humidity, and we're dealing with humidity and very high temperatures and very dry, not good things.
Oh, my gosh. It is funny how weather sort of seems very cyclical, and all of a sudden, boom, every part of the country gets hit with something nasty. We had a beautiful summer rain, one that saturates the garden kind of rain. We didn't have the winds. We didn't have the colder weather. We just got a little humidity, but that's okay. I mean, this is the kind that farmers love because it's good for the corn, it's good for the crops. It was a good saturating rain.
Well, Debbie, I'm happy for you, and I hope that it comes west.
Yes, I'm hoping we can make the weather turn the other way. There's a lot going on at Military Connection, and I do want to talk a little bit about what's new at your site. You're getting ready to launch an update?
Yeah, we're actually getting ready to launch a whole new site, and it has
exciting.
Been a major project. The new site is going to have a completely new look and feel. It's a responsive design. If you're on a tablet or a smartphone, it'll size it to whatever device you're on, or your laptop, whatever. It is done in a way, or designed in a way, where everything is easy to find, and that was quite a challenge because we have so much information. But it's really exciting looking at the design, and there's going to be, I think it'll be a good thing. But it has, as I said, been a lot of work in addition to all the regular stuff. So, yes, I know I barely have time to sleep. You're right about that.
You have a big staff, I'm assuming, that does a lot of research for you.
Well, it's not as big as I wish it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody here is just so dedicated to working, but I am proud to say that everyone that works here is either a veteran or the child of a veteran.
Wonderful.
And, probably 60% of our staff are veterans, so we're really happy about that.
What do you feel is most utilized in it? This is going to be sort of a loaded question, but what area do you think is most utilized when people go to militaryconnection.com?
Okay, I think that something that's very important are jobs. We're a top 100 employment website, so people utilize that. We have top companies advertising with us their jobs. We also do a lot of education, and that's a wonderful benefit for those who served, their dependents as well. They've earned it. And we have all of the benefits so that people can come in and say, hey, and sometimes their jaws drop when they say, oh, I can get $2,000 a month in tax-free housing if I'm going to school. There's just a multitude of information, and it is a tremendous amount of work to keep it, up to date and relevant, and we work really hard at that. We also are adding probably at least 2 or 3 new articles every day to the site in our blog.
Wow.
And that we have a writer who is a veteran. His name is Joe Silva. Joe went to school on the GI Bill and graduated a couple years ago with a degree in English, and he's working on his master's in creative writing. And he's a Navy veteran, and he writes for us, so he writes from the perspective of a veteran, which is the way it should be. We also post everything on social media, and we just hit between Bamboa and Military Connection over 310,000 followers
No
on Twitter.
kidding. Oh, congratulations.
And we're almost at 80,000 fans on Facebook. So if you want to help us out to get to 80,000, go on to facebook.com/military connection and like us and become a fan.
And we'll see if we can get, maybe our show will get you up to that 80,000
that would be lovely.
mark. There's got to be a lot of things that have to change readily, and I think that's one of the things that Military Connection really strives to do, is to make sure that the most updated information is on there. It's very difficult to stay current. Things change quicker than a New York minute, really.
That is
so it's
so
going to be
true,
hard.
Robin. What we've done is we've had research staff go, if you look at our site, we have every base, every Army base, every Navy base, every hospital, every benefit. We have gone through each commissary and exchange, even a directory of military golf courses. We have different corporations in there by category. And so we've had staff go through everything and make sure that it is correct. There have been a lot of changes. You're absolutely right on that. And so the new site will reflect all the most current information available.
That's wonderful. Do you have also referrals? So if somebody is looking for, financing or grants and stuff like that, I am thinking you do.
Yes, and that's a good, and I don't know if you're going to commercial, but that's a good segue into what I wanted to talk about. We do have one client, for example, that does military loans, and we got the most beautiful letter from someone, a veteran, who was having so much trouble and just wrote from his heart how they just went to bat for him, and in spite of all the challenges, how at the end of the day he got the loan that he needed and wanted.
Wow.
And the person that owns the site has had 2 sons that have served. I think one of them is currently in Afghanistan, in fact. So, we only promote products and services that are really good ones.
Sure.
And one thing that I wanted to talk about was, and this is in California, and I hope a lot of your audience is here in California, but this is a model that can be taken other places, is Habitat for Heroes. I helped put together a partnership between one of the habitats and CalVet. And this particular habitat, what I liked so much about them is they don't just provide the home and the sweat labor, but they provide ongoing resources, enrichment services. To give somebody a house and have them move in as owners and not give them financial management skills and deal with all the issues they have to deal with is not a recipe for success. So they do this on an ongoing basis. And right now, we have about 50 homes in Santa Clarita. These are beautiful homes. They're 4-bedroom and 3-bedroom, 2 and 3 baths. They've got 2-car garages, patios. They're brand new. There's a number of them that will be handicap access if needed, as needed. And it's a neighborhood of veterans, and there is absolutely nothing down. It's a $100 fee, which is refundable if you don't get the loan. The payment for the house, including your principal, your interest, your HOA, your property taxes, and I believe your water, is under $1,700 a month with nothing down.
That's
for a
phenomenal.
brand new home. So if there's anybody out there that is a veteran, you need to have an income, and this can be benefits. It can be housing, it can be caregiving, it can be disability benefits, between $53,000 and no more than $83,000 in income. And if you're in that category and you're interested, please send an email to info@militaryconnection.com, and we'll put you in touch with the right people. And also the idea of being able to live in a community that is all veterans of different eras, and Santa Clarita in particular is a very veteran-friendly community.
Oh, nice.
And by the way, this particular housing development, it's got open space that backs up to. It has a community center across the street, and there's a high school and a middle school. On one direction is the high school, and one is the middle school up and down the block. So it's a great location.
Oh, how beautiful. And what I love about this is that you've got this as a model so that other states could look at your success and then replicate it elsewhere. Deb, let
me just comment on that. If you're in another state or even within California, and especially if you have the land, we can help make this happen here in California with the financing. Also send me an email at info@militaryconnection.com, because I will put you in touch with the right people to at least look at it, because what we're seeing is the same communities are being replicated in there's an upcoming one in Riverside, Poway, San Francisco's looking. There's a number of communities that want to do the same thing.
Deb, we're going to pick it up on the other side of the break. We're with Debbie Gregory today with Military Connection, and I do want to touch a little bit about Veteran Business Owners Association as well.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MarlaTabaka.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Mark Lipinski is coming to TogiNet. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski, a live 2-hour show Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. Creative Mojo. It's fun, entertaining, informative, inspirational, and illuminating. Lipinski has worked on such shows as Oprah, The View, The Joan Rivers Show, and Ricky Lake. He's busy, but he's got the drive to share with Creative Mojo, dedicated to the modern crafter and crafting lifestyle. Dive into the info and enjoy everything from celebs to entertainment news to recipes, quilting and needlework, knitting, painting, woodworking, Christmas crafts, and so much more. This show boldly encourages you to discover and harness your own creative spirit by living creatively every day. For more on Mark and the show, check out marklipinski.com. Don't miss the fun. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski. Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio. Today, we're chatting with Debbie Gregory from Military Connection. And going out to the commercial, I did not say your other foundation correctly. It's Veterans and Military Business Owners Association. And we were kind of quickly getting the music, so I had to wrap it really quickly. But I do want to talk a little bit about Vamboa and all of the good things that you do there. You're there for military business owners, military spouses, wives, moms. There is a lot to be done through Vamboa.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I'm hoping to be able to focus more on Vamboa once the new site is launched. But opening up a business and being an entrepreneur is a very important option that those transitioning from the military and their loved ones need to consider, especially if you are a service-disabled veteran. You're in big demand. There are new requirements that they have put out, just like companies have to hire a certain amount of minorities, women, veterans, service-disabled veterans, people with disabilities. They also have to use them as suppliers. And Vamboa's focus is not so much on government contracts, which there's so many people that know more than I'm ever going to know on that, and I realize that. But what we're good at is working with corporations that want to do business with you. And a lot of people don't go after that, and I think they should. Corporations are spending multi-million dollars on what they call diversity supply, and they want to work with these organizations as their, suppliers, especially if they're doing business with the government. So we try to connect them with them. And there are, financing vehicles available. There's some good products and services. Our goal is that once we get the new site launched and things calm down. I hate to use that word.
No, but
anyway,
true.
A little bit. We want to do some conferences. And what we want to do is put together a conference model that we can kind of take on the road and do in other places and get it down to a science. That's one of our goals.
You just wrote a blog called New Boots to Business Program, and I don't think this is a new program, is it? But it has some newer features. Is that what I understand?
Right. It's part of the SBA's program for veterans.
And that's
there's a lot of resources for veteran entrepreneurs.
So a lot, not only this blog, and I encourage everybody to go to VAMBOA.org to read not only that particular blog, but there's so much information in here, Debbie. As I say, it's always almost overwhelming sometimes because
I know, and it's overwhelming for me too. I'm one nice thing about the new Military Connection site is it's a lot easier to navigate and find information, and it took a lot of thought to reorganize it. And it's got a great modern look and feel, and I'm really excited about it. It's new. It's been a long time in coming.
Sure. Now, if somebody needs help when they finally get on there, do you have some assistance? Is there a link that they can click for help or be able to get in touch with a friendly voice like yours?
Well, there's a contact information, and also they can register as a veteran business owner. There's a form on the site, and then they can send an inquiry, and we will try to help them any way that we can.
That's wonderful. And the same on the new Military Connection site?
And the old one, too. If you send anything to info, we pride ourselves on getting back to people, and a lot of people think that we mistakenly, which we're not, by the government. And they'll have questions about their benefits and something. And even if we can't answer it, we try to put them in a direction. We'll give them a veteran service officer in their area, something where they can start getting information.
Right, right.
And we even have one instance, I had a veteran contact me through a business associate in my building, and he has a business across the street, which he and his wife are now living in. They've become homeless because he has been applying for benefits since 2009. Now, I don't know all of the circumstances, but it is being expedited, I understand, because of the homeless situation. And I'm also going to take this to our local congresswoman who's on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, because they should not have to live in their company.
Right, right. Absolutely. So many things, a wealth of information. And actually, this is somewhat of a segue to the author that we have coming up next. Debbie, I want to say thank you to you. I know
It's
that you're
always a
such a
pleasure,
busy gal.
Robin. Give Sandra my best.
I sure will.
And I'm
MilitaryConnection.com.
interested in hearing Thomas Van Hees, too. It sounds like he's done some interesting work.
He's a wonderful advocate, and I hope you can catch the rest of the show because he's a very fascinating guy who has done some remarkable work for veterans.
I'll be listening, and thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too, Deb. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Debbie Gregory of Military Connection and Bamboa.com. And indeed, we want to introduce our next guest, Thomas Van Hees. He served with the 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines during the Vietnam War as an M60 machine gunner. He participated in multiple combat operations, wounded twice, and his injuries led him to seek disability compensation some 40 years later. And after a long 4-year ordeal seeking compensation from the VA, he became a veterans advocate to help veterans so they would not have to experience the same setbacks that he experienced when he was seeking his compensation. Thomas, we don't quite have Tom on the air yet. What I wanted to just let you know, too, is he is... in addition, he's also written a couple of other books. He's been involved with the Military Writers Society of America and has been an award winner. In fact, for the Disability Compensation, the Veterans Guide, he was a gold medal award winner through the Military Writers Society of America. As well as another book that we're going to talk about. I'm just making sure that we have him. Oh, good, we do have him. He has another book as well, Life Interrupted by War, as well as Unsung Heroes. And I don't think I said that right, did I, Tom? I want to make sure that we talk about both of his books this afternoon. Tom, we have you finally with us. Welcome, Tom.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, thanks for being with us today.
No problem.
Well, we are excited to chat with you because we did have you on briefly before, and as a result of having you on the show, we have had a number of people get your book, seek your advice, and be as successful as you have been, my husband included. So I want to make sure that we had you back so that we could talk a little bit more about all of the things that you have done for veterans. With your book, Disability Compensation, The Veterans Guide, was this totally a compilation of all of your experiences, or once you got there, did you have some other resources that you pulled together to complete this book, the first edition?
Well, the book really was about what I wanted to do is I didn't want veterans to go through what I had to go through when I got my compensation. You know, like I say in the book, I filed 15 claims in 4 years, and 5 of those were denied, and 3 of those 5 were denied more than twice. And then with every denial, I learned more and more and more about how the VA works and what they were looking for when you file a claim. So I decided I might as well put this in a book form so veterans can have access to it, so they don't have to get confused and with the whole process, because it can be confusing if they don't know how to go about it. And my book explains step by step all the way through the whole process on how to get compensation and what happens if you get a denial and how you can turn that denial around in your favor.
And I think that's it right there. You get a denial and you think, oh, well, that's it. That's all there is to it. There is recourse, isn't there?
Oh, most definitely. A lot of guys that file and they get denied the first time, they just figure, what's the use? And then, of course, the bad press that goes along with filing and getting denied by other people, and bad stories from veterans that have had a bad situation or a bad experience with the VA doesn't help any. But just because you're denied, it's not a dead issue. When you get a denial, you get a letter from the VA, and it tells you that you've got 1 year from the date of that letter to file an appeal. And I have found when working with veterans that there are very few instances that you cannot turn a denial around. All you need is maybe just a little bit more evidence or a statement that is worded correctly. There's so many simple things when you file for compensation that most veterans just don't know about.
And thanks to your experience and advice, they are able to navigate it much more easily. And I've got to say, we have the first edition here, and what are we talking? We're only talking about 86 pages here of information, but it's jam-packed with the most valuable advice. Tom, we've got 1 minute before the break. There have been how many editions subsequent to the first one? Have you updated this?
Yeah, the Disability Compensation Volume 2 is updated material and new material that the VA has put out there that wasn't in Volume 1. Basically, Volume 1 is the guide that sets the precedence for how to file a claim. The third one was specifically for the Gulf War veterans. That deals specifically with their issues, and they have a lot of issues.
And that's interesting. On the other side of the break, I'm going to ask you why there is a difference for the Gulf War vets. We're talking this afternoon with Thomas Van Hees, and we will be back in a moment.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Okay, we will. We're going to teach you how to tell your money where to go. It's Intelligent Investing with Pam Otten on TogiNet. Learn how to be a savvy investor from someone who has your best interest at heart. Pam Otten is a financial advisor who loves to help successful business owners and entrepreneurs understand the mysteries of the investment world. And she's not afraid to share that knowledge. Pam is an unashamed Christian and qualified kingdom advisor, which means she's trained and committed to integrating biblical principles into her financial advice. Pam believes investing isn't rocket science. This is the financial advisor who's in your corner and truly understands and cares about you and helping you achieve your goals. Securities and advisory services are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. It's Intelligent Investing with Pam Otten on TogiNet.
Do holidays and celebrations get you down and leave you feeling frazzled? Then join Sandy Fowler and her guests on Heart-Filled Holidays every Monday at noon, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Sandy will help you discover the secrets to having the celebrations you've always dreamed of while adding fun and meaning to your life. From Valentine's Day to Christmas to special family events, Sandy Fowler will show you how to put the fun and meaning back into those special days by taking a look at what we can do to turn the upcoming holidays into cherished memories and show us how to allow it to intertwine with everyday life. For more on the show, Sandy, and to receive Sandy's Holiday Happiness booklet, go to heartfilledholidays.com. Then get set to discover the secrets to creating happy holidays and happy everydays by joining Sandy Fowler and her guests on Heartfilled Holidays every Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time on TogiNet.com.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Welcome back, everyone. Robin Boyd with you today on Military Mom Talk Radio. I'm here for Sandra Beck, who's on vacation, and we are wishing her a wonderful time while she is away. If you've missed the beginning of the show, we had Debbie Gregory on from Military Connection and VAMBOA, Veteran and Military Business Owners Association. A wonderful resource. Please visit both of those websites. If you've missed any part of the earlier show or any of our shows, you'll always want to find us at militarymomtalkradio.com. You can find us right here on the TogiNet network on our show page of the same name. You can also find us on iTunes with almost 200 family-friendly, free programming. And in the fall, you'll want to be sure to join us. We're going to be celebrating our 200th show. We are so proud and so excited to share that with you. Today, this afternoon, we're talking with Thomas Van Hees. He is an author of the Disability Compensation, the Veteran's Guide, a number of issues of it, as well as two other books, Life Interrupted by War and The Unheralded Heroes. I wanted to make sure I said that title right, Tom, because when we were trying to get you on the line, I did not quite say that title properly. Tom, before we went to break, we started alluding to the fact that you have a separate edition of the Disability Compensation Guide for Gulf War veterans. Why are their circumstances unique?
Well, when you think about all wars, but the Vietnam veterans, we had to deal with Agent Orange and all the horrific diseases and whatever that came along because of it. Even though we knew what we were infected by and how to treat some of these issues, and the Gulf War veteran doesn't know. They were exposed to toxins in different sorts of ways. The chemical warfare was involved, and even though World War II was supposed to be, or World War I was supposed to be the last war that chemical weapons were used, they came about again in the Gulf War. And not only were they exposed to these toxic agents, they were given a cocktail of inoculations that were not tested and not approved, and they now suffer from mysterious and undiagnosed conditions, symptoms of all this stuff that's going on. And Eric Shinseki, who was the former VA administrator, he said that he would take care of them. He would take care of them, and he told Congress that he would take care of them no matter what. Take this. This is just from me alone. Yeah. Compensation is coming. It's just going to take a while, but compensation is coming. It's going to take a while to get all this stuff ironed out, just like it took 25 or 30 years for them to recognize the results of Agent Orange exposure. It's going to come around for these guys. But they have to get into the system now. They can't wait.
I was just going to say that, yeah. It's important to get in now.
The veterans they're complicated. Their mindset is really complicated. They even though they have issues now, health issues now, they don't deal with it now, and they just keep pushing it off. They don't want to deal with the VA because they were in the government, they were in the war, so they associate the VA with the government and the war, and it's terrible that they have a mindset like this. But they'll wait, like the Vietnam veterans and all the veterans from the wars previously, 20, 30, 40, 50 years until it gets to the point where it's too late and these health issues become a real problem. When they can start doing it now and catch it, do some preventative measures to take care of it now instead of waiting all these years.
Surely.
And I'm guilty. I'm guilty of this also.
Sure.
I got into the system in 1971, and I didn't do anything for 30 years, and it got to the point where my service-connected issues, health issues, were to the point where I had to get something done, and that's when I started filing a bunch of claims.
Right, right. And I'm sure statistics will reveal things that maybe aren't even apparent. So all of a sudden, if you are experiencing X and all the statistics are revealing that maybe another 50,000 or 500,000 people are experiencing X, maybe they're going to discover this a little sooner than if maybe 40 or 50 years later there's an influx of people who are now older and coming up with X and needs to be addressed. So there's a multitude of reasons, but it's very important to get into the VA system now. One of the things that's been so prevalent in the VA, or I should say in the media, Tom, is the difficulties with the VA. And I know we have been saying on the show that just because there's a little bad publicity should not preclude somebody from filing or visiting or getting involved with the VA. Is that your feeling, or have you found anything differently?
No, as far as I'm concerned, and not because I'm an advocate or because I'm 100% disabled and I work with veterans, the VA, as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of the people are concerned, is a fantastic organization. You can't judge the whole entire organization by a few instances that happen. The VA is just like a large corporation. You're going to have bad apples in there that's going to do something that the media is going to grab a hold of and they're going to run with it. It shouldn't be that way, but that's just the way it is. The media doesn't cover the good stuff that's happening. They always cover the bad stuff that's happening. The VA is a fantastic organization. Their health care is beyond, it's unbelievable what the health care is. I understand, and they should, and the veterans out there should understand that all these veterans that came back from the Gulf Wars were crammed into the system right now. They're understaffed and overcased. You know, that's just what happened. They were working on it. They're still working on it. I think it's tragic that Eric Shinseki had to step down because I've been with the VA since 1971. I've been involved with him. He had, as far as I'm concerned, he had the most done of any director for the VA since I've been in the system. I mean, he just did unbelievable things. Unfortunately, politics took hold and he had to step down.
Sure.
It's just a shame. It's really a shame. I hope that this new guy that was been appointed is going to pick up where Shinseki left off.
And I'm sure that it's going to take some ironing out. What I was going to say while you were chatting was every facility has had some challenges. When I went through cancer, I had to be my own advocate. I had to make sure x-rays got to the right facility because I couldn't depend on each facility to necessarily communicate with each other. They should, but they didn't. I had to carry them back and forth. I had to make sure that reports got back and forth so that the oncologist and the surgeon or whoever was evaluating me got back to my primary care, which didn't necessarily happen. So when I hear a lot of the flack that's going on about the VA, I'm thinking, they are just sort of sensational. I don't want to say sensationalizing, because certainly there are some issues that are very valid. I'm not putting down what the what their issues are. But every facility has its issues, and everybody has got to be their own advocate, and then seek the advice like you, who's been experienced and have had some good and positive results. Do you get feedback from veterans, Tom? We've got about 3 minutes before our next break.
Oh, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were last year when I was, in fact, just recently, within a month, I had a guy call me, and of course, I had your husband call me.
Yeah.
With your help, I got the compensation and apparently I'm going to be helping him further with some other issues. But I'll give you an example. This is kind of funny. I go to Veterans Week in Branson, Missouri every year. I do book signings down there. I meet with veterans. I get a list of veterans that when I come home, I spend all winter long working with these veterans, getting their compensation stuff. And I had a guy show up last year at the booth, and he looked at me. He was dressed in some type of a uniform. I think it was a American Legion uniform or something. He said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, I looked at his face, and I'm terrible with faces. And I saw his name tag, and I go, "Absolutely, I helped you last year." He said, "Yeah, you did." There was a crowd of people around there, and he turned to these people and he says, "I want you people to know that this man got me to 100% without any problem at all. This guy is my hero." And he said,
wow.
stand up. And I didn't know if he was going to hit me or what he was going to do. and he came up to me and he threw his arms around me and he says, "I love you, man."
Wow.
That's the type of stuff that just keeps me going.
Yeah.
But I get this all the time, not to that extent, but yeah, I get this all the time. And my wife is my biggest advocate because she's passing the word all the time. And for me, word of mouth is the best thing for me because I don't have a website. That would be too overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Because now I've started another career. I'm now doing wildlife art, painting wildlife art. So that keeps me busy.
Wonderful.
So,
wonderful.
It just word of mouth is my best resource. I would like to try and find some type of an organization that would like to keep my books on hand so that they can pass them out,
Absolutely.
to veterans that I am unable to make a connect with.
Right. Tom, we'll be back on the other side of the break for one more segment to chat with you. We are with Thomas Van Hees today, author and veteran. We're so glad to have you with us today, and I want to briefly talk about your other books as well on the other side of the break. We're here today on Military Mom Talk Radio, and we are so glad to have you with us. Be back in a moment.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
This is God in Country, the collision of faith and politics, hosted by nationally known speaker, Reverend Dr. Sean Michael Greener. Not your typical Rev. Dr. Sean is a proud military veteran, former law enforcement officer, and founder of the internationally regarded Executive Protection Team. Dr. Sean holds a bachelor's degree in biblical counseling and master's and doctorate degrees in theology, and is currently pursuing a doctorate in ministry with a Hebrew worldview focus. Through his counseling, elite life coaching, and national speaking, this ninja pastor tells it like it is. This series is biblically and politically engaged with the pedal to the metal. Join host and author of the acclaimed yet controversial book, Excellence Killed the Church, How Mediocrity is Destroying America, Dr. Sean Michael Greener. Every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this radio network.
Time and change are accelerating, making it increasingly difficult to gracefully go with the flow. Women Change the World presents conversations with featured guests about changes in their lives and how that change has created new and positive opportunities. Women Change the World with your host, Dr. Beth Golden, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central here on TogiNet.com. We all know that change can knock you off course, and Dr. Beth's show and practices focus on revealing everything that's right with you. This information will help you make choices that align your true nature and set you along your path of least resistance. As Dr. Beth says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. For more on Dr. Beth and her show, go to drbethgolden.com. That's drbethgolden.com. Women Change the World with your host, Dr. Beth Golden, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central, here on TogiNet.com.
We'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Welcome back, everyone. Another great show we have. If you missed the first part, we had Debbie Gregory from MilitaryConnection.com, and Sandra's out there laughing at me. I know. She loves it when I do that. And now we are speaking with Thomas Van Hees. He is an author and a veteran advocate who has helped so many veterans with disability compensation. But we also want to focus a little bit on his other books. Award-winning or nomination anyway is coming up for your Unheralded Heroes book. But let me talk a little bit about Life Interrupted by War, Tom. This was it considered a biography, or was it just some biographical information?
Well, it started out as a family of a guy in Vietnam that I was with who was killed. I started sending them a few pages because they want some information, because George never sent them any information in their letters about what he did over there or what was going on or anything like that. He kept it very vague. So they wanted to know about what happened over there, and so I started sending them a few pages here and there, and it ended up being about a month and 30 pages, and I got to figuring, I'm in contact with the rest of these guys. I said, why don't I just write my story? So I write my story and my experiences about being a machine gunner with Lima Company in the 1st Platoon, and it was situations that we were all involved in. And I started getting more contacts from more of the guys in the unit, and they said, I haven't thought about that stuff in 40 years, and how you have such a good memory. Unfortunately, I have that type of a memory where I can remember stuff that happened 50 years ago, but I can't remember what happened yesterday when my wife says, go out and mow the lawn. So,
selective.
So,
it's just selective memory.
It was really fun writing it because I lived it, so it was really easy to write. I didn't have to do any research or anything like that. It all came out of my mind, and it's been very popular, especially with the women who have had fathers and brothers and husbands that came home from war, and they couldn't understand how they have changed so much and why they've changed. And because my book covers anything from funny to tragic, and they get a little bit more understanding of why their spouse or brother or whatever had changed so much because of what they went through.
Sure.
Over why they were over there.
When you first enlisted, you were somewhat of a carefree young boy, and all of a sudden, wham, found yourself taking an oath and in the Marines. Did you find it just as difficult to reintegrate when you came back?
No. I got married before I left Vietnam.
Oh, good.
I got married in August of 1965. My 49th anniversary is next week.
Oh, congratulations.
And I got married in August of 1965, And in June of '66, I was in Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
My wife was pregnant at that time, so I didn't see the birth of my first son. And when I came home, my son was 10 months old, and I adapted well. War didn't affect me as far as PTSD issues or anything like that, even though I was involved in some pretty horrific situations with firefights and stuff. That type of stuff just never has bothered me. I don't know why, but it just never has.
Mm-hmm.
So the transition back to civilian life was basically pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
I went back. I went to Pendleton for the last 18 months I was in. I was a marksmanship instructor, teaching these privates going to Vietnam how to shoot. And when I got out of the service, we moved back to Aberdeen, South Dakota, where my wife was from, and started our life.
And you're in Minnesota now, is it?
I'm in Minnesota now, yeah.
Yeah. And what brought you to Minnesota?
I said to the wife, she says, how would you like to move to the Minneapolis, St. Paul area? And I said, you get the bills paid off and we're gone. And a month later, we were in Minneapolis. We like it.
Good, good. You get some weather up there, I guess, though, don't you?
Yeah, this winter was horrible. Our kids want us to go back on the road
Yeah.
because unfortunately my health issue, my service-connected health issues, have caused us to not travel anymore. We traveled in a motorhome for 7 years. That's how I made a lot of contact with my veterans.
I was just going to say, you wrote a quick book about RVing, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's kind of out of the box. It's
okay.
It's kind of a Jeff Foxworthy type of spin on RVing. It's all true to fact. It's all stuff that happened to us in 40-something years of camping and RVing. And it's called "You Might Be an RVer If."
Oh.
And it's so funny for the RVer because there's little snippets through there. You might be an RVer if your idea of potluck is making it back across the border without getting caught. Stuff like that. So it's a very comical book, but it wasn't comic at the time because all this stuff happened to us.
Oh, that's delightful, absolutely delightful. But I'm so glad that
I got one more for you.
Okay.
You've ran out of propane because you cooked your turkey for 6.5 days because it said cook 1 hour per pound and you weigh 160 pounds.
Oh my goodness! So you had a lot of years on the road then with your RV.
Oh yeah, we had about 7 years with the RV until 2 years ago when we had to hang it up. We still have the RV. Anybody out there want to buy one? I got one. And we bought a lake place. So we're on a lake here in Minnesota. So and the kids are close by. So, but they want us. They don't want us to leave because since we've been back, we've had 2 terrible winters.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to be in an RV in the middle of a snowstorm, I don't think. You have a book that has been nominated for an award through Military Writers Society called Unheralded Heroes. And this is a book that is covering all wars, isn't it? You've chosen some very fascinating people to give descriptions and biographies of. I'm spitting this out the wrong way. I'm sorry.
This book was kind of an idea. I was kind of like surfing one day. Every once in a while, I get on a military channel or something, start surfing some of the stuff that happened in some of the wars and stuff. And I go, this is interesting stuff. I think I'm going to write a book about it. So what I did is, everybody, the most misused word in the military is hero. Mm-hmm. Everybody's a hero. All these guys that are coming back from the war are heroes. Not necessarily so. So there's other things that take, like there's inanimate things, there's animals, there's equipment that all took part in wars that helped the wars either come to an end or helped the wars to go along smoothly, or like penicillin. Penicillin is, as far as I'm concerned, that's a hero because it once they discovered penicillin,
Mm-hmm.
the death rate of people dying from infections just dropped dramatically.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. And people don't think about, they think about the Civil War and all the guys that died in the Civil War. There was over 2 million horses that died in the Civil War. And they died from so many, most of it was starvation, and they got eaten because of the lack of food. And the stuff that they performed was unbelievable. And under the conditions was terrible. Stuff like that. One of the most interesting chapters in the book is the celebrities. And some of the celebrities that are in there would just definitely surprise you. Did you know that, no, I got, old age is setting in. Anyway, the heroes that were in the book, I didn't go into the Audie Murphy and, Sergeant York and stuff like that because they were national heroes. But I put stuff in there that people didn't think about.
Well, we just lost James Gardner.
Rod Serling from the Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
He was he was in World War II. Nobody liked him in his unit. He was one of the last people in his unit to walk out alive.
Oh my!
And he didn't like taking orders. And when he came back to the United States, he got out of the Army right away and just kind of pushed it off to the side. Don Adams from Get Smart. He's another one that was decorated. Charles Durning. I don't know if you know who Charles Durning is. If you ever watched,
of course. I love him in the Dolly Parton one when he does that. Do a little sidestep. I can't think of Charles Durning without thinking of that darling little number that he does.
Well, he's kind of most known for, and even though he did a bunch of movies, he's most known for Everybody Loves Raymond series.
Yes.
he got 3 silver stars, 3 Purple Hearts. I don't know how many times he got shot.
Oh my gosh!
Just like this, and some of the surprising ones. Not Martha Stewart. Hey, Mother, who's that one?
Tom, we've got 1 minute, and what we're going to have to do is tell everybody to go and get this book, Unheralded Heroes. We've got 1 minute before we wrap the show, actually 30 seconds. Where can people find you? On Amazon? Is that the best place?
Well, the books are on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but I prefer that they get them through me because when they make sales from those outlets and other outlets, I don't get any royalties.
Okay, and let's give your email real quick because we're going to hear the music any second, and I'll have to give it out real quick.
bounderpair@yahoo.com.
Perfect. Tom Van Hees, thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and thank you for your service and all that you're doing for every veteran in our country. Take care.
Thank you, Robin.
See you next week, everyone.